Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing good today. In the last tutorial we did the pattern drafting of the bodies of this dress. Today we are going to do the sewing, so let's do it together. So guys, I've cut the fabric and I've also added all the allowances where necessary. This is the front pattern and this is the back. Because this fabric is very light, I'm going to be ironing a very light fusible interfacing on the main fabric, okay? This is the back pattern. Fold it this way and take in the dart on both sides. And then for the front, join it this way. The same way we join bustiers up to here. And for the other one as well, I'll do the same thing. Join it. So after doing that, join the sides, right side facing, and for here as well, join the sides and the shoulder. So for the lining, I'm going to do the same thing. I have sewn the shoulder and the princess line. So this is what it is going to look like. Okay, this is the back. Alright, I've also done the lining as well. I just realized I've not sewn this shoulder. I'm going to do that later. For the skirt part, I'll measure what I have here from one end to the other. My waist is 31.5, but let me measure here. I have exactly 31.5 as well. Can you see it? That is going to be the waist measurement. Now I'm trying to cut a 180-degree circle using the lining first. I already have a video on how to make a 180-degree circle, so you can watch it for better understanding. Then I folded my fabric into two and then I'll fold it in a triangular form. So because I want the back to have a zipper, I'm not going to fold it entirely. I'm going to leave about 1 inch here. Okay, my radius is my waist circumference divided by 3.14. That is 31.5 divided by 3.14, and I have 10.03. So I'm just going to make it 10, and then I'll measure my 10. The length that I want for the skirt is 30 inches. Okay, but because this is the lining, I'm going to make it, I'll just make it what I have here, which is about 20 inches, and that is perfect. And then for here, I'm going to cut 0.5 inches above here, above the radius. For the main fabric, fold it into 4, just like I did for the lining. Remember to leave the 1 inch zipper allowance. Now I'm going to place my lining on it to get the radius. Cut out the same radius. But before then, I'm going to measure the length I want, which is 30. Okay. Remember that from here to here is 10. So I'll add 10 to 30, and that is 40 inches. So I'll cut the same thing here. Get the midpoint of the skirt, alright, and join it to the bodice, right side facing. The midpoint must align. Sew here, 1 inch allowance. For the lining as well, I'll do the same thing. I'll join it together and then I'll sew with a 1 inch allowance. Okay guys, now I've sewn the skirt part to the bodice, and this is it. So for the sleeve, in the last tutorial I showed you how to cut a sleeve, so I'll be using the same pattern to cut out this sleeve. Okay, now I folded my fabric into two You know, I need just one sleeve, the other part to be sleeveless. So in this pattern, I've already added all the allowances I need. What I have to do is just to cut it out. Notch the crown of the sleeve. Remember that the front armhole is deeper than the back, so I trimmed it out, and then I cut a lining as well. So I'm going to be sewing it right side facing this way at the hem. After that, join the lining to the main fabric. Only here, the part that doesn't have the sleeve. So you're going to sew with a cut of 1 inch seam allowance or half an inch, and then after that you understitch on the lining. You know how we do that. So guys, I've sewn the armhole for the one that will not be having sleeves, and I also ironed the fusible interfacing where the zipper will be on both sides. This is the second area. Yeah. So the next thing is to fix my zipper. You have to ensure that your zipper aligns. This waistline, it has to align. First, I ensure that both of them meet, and then I'll mark the point on my zipper, something like this, so that when I'm fixing my zipper, I am going to know that this part, the waist, has to be on this line, and this other part has to be on this line. So I'm going to fix it, and then from where the zipper ends, sew straight down to the hem of the dress. Okay guys, I have sewn the zipper. So the next thing is to turn the zipper with the lining. I'll be placing it on the tip of the zipper. This is how it is initially, right? So I'm going to turn it this way. So I'm going to pull it out, and then I'll sew. I can turn my fabric to the right side, wrong side as well. And then I'm just going to sew straight down. I'll do the other side as well. So I'm going to sew and then stop just below where the zipper stops. And after that, the remaining part of the lining, join it together. Okay. For the sleeve, I have sewn it, you see. Now what I'll do is to fold it this way. Okay, right side facing. Okay, and then I'm going to sew. This is what the inside of the dress looks like. Now for the sleeve, I sewed here with the seam allowance that I left. Okay, and then I just turned it in. I tucked the lining inside, and now this is my sleeve. This is the front armhole and this is the back. So I'm going to put it in like this, and then you pin it. I'm pinning the main fabric to the main fabric. Okay, and then I'll sew with a 0.5 inch seam allowance all around. After sewing the sleeve of the main fabric to the main fabric itself, I'm going to do that of the lining from inside. Okay, for the tie collar, zip it up and measure what you have all around. I have about 27.5, but you know I'm going to have to tie the collar, so I'm going to add extra 15 inches on both sides. 15 plus 15, that is 30, plus 27, that is 57. So I'm going to cut about 60 inches in total, and I will cut it on bias. Okay, I'll be using this white fabric, so I'll fold it into two. The width I want is about 2 inches, so I'm going to cut it at 2.5 on fold. I'll iron an interfacing on it. So here I have ironed a fusible interfacing, and one other thing I did was to fold it, okay, with a 0.5 inch. So I ironed on that as well. It is going to serve as a guide by the time I'm sewing it to the neck of the dress. Remember what I measured on this neckline was 29. So I am going to get the midpoint, which is here. I already notched it. I'll measure half of 29 on both sides. Let me just say 30 inches. That is 15 inches on both sides. To sew it, fold it right side facing. Sew 0.5 from here up to this crease, and then straight down up to where I marked, which is here. Do the same thing on the other side. Fold it right side facing, and then I'm going to sew with the 0.5 inch seam allowance this way, diagonally, and then inside this crease, which is 0.5, up to here. So by the time I'm done, this is the only part that will be open. That is the part that I'm going to attach to the neck of the dress. This part from here up to here. So in order to sew it to the dress, find the midpoint, which I already notched, and then put it on the shoulder line, on this shoulder line from the right side. Put it on the shoulder line like this, and then you sew with a 0.5 inch seam allowance till you get to one end. Here as well, you sew with a 0.5 inch seam allowance till you get to the other end. When you're sewing the zipper, ensure that it is closed. So you sew it like this. After sewing, you're going to fold it this way. It's more like we are sewing the band of a skirt. So you fold the remaining 0.5 to the wrong side like this, and then you stitch here, and that is it. The tie neck collar is done. Thank you very much for watching this tutorial. If it was helpful, please like, share and subscribe, and please turn on the notification bell. Please share this content, and please drop your comments. Let me know what you think about it. So we see you again next time. Take care of yourself. Bye.